I've had just, I think, some isolating experiences here, and I was very moved by the fact that a lot of Calgarians seemed to care and really stepped up.
This week marked a historic change as the global community took a stand against racism. Many here in Calgary are wondering how they ensure that this change stays. The streets of Calgary, unlike we've ever seen them before, an energy and a cry for equality.
It's exciting to see this activism come to the forefront of public consciousness, of people actually talking about it and realizing that we need to do more.
Racism is not a new conversation for Larissa Crawford. Of Métis and Jamaican descent, Crawford has dedicated her life to anti-racism work.
I feel like people are experiencing this overwhelming pressure to be anti-racist experts overnight. And my first piece of advice would be to stop and really reflect on yourself and your role as an ally.
And for many Calgarians, those difficult conversations are where it begins. The unlearning and then the learning of painful truths.
And I remember this truck just pulling over and screaming at me, and I was just playing, I was minding my own business. And that was the first time I had heard the N-word. And it wasn't until I was 19 that I fully understood what had actually happened.
The racism that we've experienced in a lot of ways just plays out with, like, we're on the bus and, you know, somebody says the N-word under their breath, like randomly. Or even smaller, like we're in a store and we feel like someone's watching us, but they're not watching our friends that are with us.
Oh, it's not that bad in Canada. Oh, it's not this bad in Canada. And that is such a dangerous rhetoric. It's so dangerous because what that does is it erases the lived and systemic experience that especially Black and Indigenous people face in Canada.
Deborah and Larissa say there are many productive ways to be an ally. Taking to the streets in peaceful protest is just one.
I think a lot of these systemic sort of racist problems that we talk about are a lack of understanding. A lot of it is ignorance, and that's a result of maybe incomplete history that we've learned in our humanities courses.
And I think that a more productive rhetoric can be acknowledging that people face different kinds of barriers. People benefit from different kinds of privileges. Let's validate that.
And ultimately, they say you shouldn't be afraid of having those frank discussions with yourself and others.
Really make use of your own voice and the new knowledge that you've garnered to be a better ally. It's a really exciting moment to be an ally, to step up in that time and say, hey, that's not okay, like don't speak to that person that way, rather than remaining silent.
In Calgary, Allie Miller, City News.